What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, folks, as always, I got a real treat for you, but this one's from down under.
I am.
Michael Johnson, better known as Mojo.
Michael Mojo, that's the one.
Michael Mojo _ success if you want to follow him after listening to him. Dude, you're like a mindset guru down in Australia, yeah?
Yeah.
You're like the Tony Robbins of Australia.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not as hypey.
Well, he's worldwide known, that's for sure.
He's done a very good job.
But you're like a guru in Australia. A lot of the U.S. people follow me. You're going to be like, who the hell is this guy? So I'm trying to paint a picture.
Yeah, we get a fair few of the U.S. as well. We've got a fair few building over here, which is pretty cool.
All right, well, if you guys know who he is, then you already know who he is. But if you don't, according to my team, he's a mindset and mental performance coach who founded the Mojo Human Performance Institute. And you help individuals and businesses raise their standards, break mental barriers, and perform at higher levels, both personally and professionally. You coach top athletes, industry leaders, entrepreneurs, business owners, etc., to basically kick ass.
That's exactly what I do.
And your institute does workshops, seminars, coaching programs, speeches, yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
Sweet.
Anything that helps people perform better, essentially.
Yeah, well, how'd you get into that?
It's a long story, but really, when I was kicked out of school at 15, I wanted to end my life. I just thought, I can't please my parents, can't do everything that everyone else wants me to do. And I had a bit of a revelation, and that was that I was trying to please everybody else. And I realized that I couldn't keep going pleasing everybody else, and that I had to do things that were right by me.
Why'd you want to kill yourself, though?
Because
literally?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Dude, again, it says to me, like, why were you so soft?
I wasn't soft. I think I had bright red hair, I had freckles, I had pasty skin, I was picked on a lot. My parents were quite young. My mum was 17 when she had me. And I was always in trouble at school. More to the story, folks.
Yeah. See, it wasn't just your parents didn't do this and that. It was like, dude, you were getting bullied. You were getting picked on. Were you skinny?
No, back then I was fat. I was a little chubby kid.
So you were a fat redhead kid.
I was.
In Australia.
You can picture it, right? So I had pasty skin that if I went out in the sun for more than about 30 seconds, I'd get burnt red.
Do you think that almost ridicule put a fire in you at some point? Yeah. Because it almost caused you to end it, or wanting to. Yeah. At what point did you say, fuck this?
It was around that time. And then as time went on, I finished off high school and I started working as a mechanic. And when I was there, I thought the goal of life was to make a ton of money, retire, have these properties, have nice cars, boats, everything like that, like a lot of the guys that went to the mining industry. And then what I realized was that there was a disconnect between this idea of money and success. That yes, money can do that, but most people that I saw were miserable trying to create money or make money. And then my best friend's 3-year-old niece was killed in a car accident. And, for anyone out there who's seen a coffin that's probably the size of this table going into the ground, it's a bit of an eye-opener, and you realize that life can just be taken away just like that. And so I sort of realized that the only place that ever made me feel good was going to the gym. So I quit that industry and went and worked in a gym. And that was 20 years ago, when personal training wasn't really a proper, a job or career. But loved that industry. I helped build a franchise system. I went out, I started training people, educating people, and then I just kept learning and studying, and I traveled all around the world learning from some of the greatest people that I could find in, psychology, neuroscience, personal development. And I just kept studying and learning. And then I was working in a medical center for about 3 years. I was doing physical rehabilitation and sports performance. And that's when I realized that everyone knows what to do. They just don't do it. And it's what happens in between their ears that's the problem. And so I started working in that industry. I got my first bomb.
That's right, because a lot of people don't realize it, dude. It all starts with the freaking brain, the mind.
Yep.
Why? They know what to do, but they don't do it. Why? And that's the question I kept asking myself. Like, why? Then I realized why. Why do you think?
How much time do you have? Because this has been my study, right, for the last 13 years. It really comes down to a few things, right? In order to live a great life, you've got to have clarity on what you want life to look like. You've got to know your own personal core values. You have to know your purpose in life. You have to know what your lifestyle balance looks like. We're both entrepreneurs, right? Our lifestyle balance isn't the same as a normal everyday person. So lifestyle.
So if I'm
balance-
listening to this, not to interrupt you, because people hate when I do that, especially when you're on a roll.
No, you're good.
But if I don't, then I don't get my questions answered.
Go for it.
What if I'm a guy that says, well, yeah, but like, that's the hard part. I'm trying to find my purpose. How would you say I should find my purpose?
Life's fucking hard. Get over it.
Yeah, but that doesn't tell me how to find my purpose.
I know, but people say that life's hard or things are hard. Everything's hard. A comfortable life is hard. An uncomfortable life is hard. Just pick which one you want. Achieving anything is hard. Working for anything is hard. Not working for it is also hard.
But that's true.
Yeah.
But how does that tell me how to find my purpose? Because a lot of people ask me, hey, how do I find my purpose? And I always ask them, like, dude, I don't know. How do you find your fucking glasses in the morning? Like, you look for them.
Yeah.
Try new shit. See what you like. See what you don't like. Take action. Do something. If you don't like it, stop doing it and do something different.
Yeah.
How do you find my purpose? Like, I don't know. Do something. Do a bunch of different shit. Try it all. Go out and, walk dogs. Man, I love dogs. I love walking dogs. Maybe that's your purpose. I don't know. How do you find your purpose? How do you say people should find their purpose?
It's actually really easy. And the first thing that you've got to do is you have to understand your core values. Now, values have been fucked up in our society as far as the way that they're taught. We've been taught that values are taught from our parents, and that's not true. Characteristics are taught from our parents, not our values. Values come from two key fields of study. One is economics and the other is philosophy. The values answer the question, where do I feel valuable? Where do I feel value when I do certain things in life? Where do I feel value? The second thing is, where does society perceive my value is? So as entrepreneurs, we work extremely hard and we build businesses. Society says, well, you're valuable, and that's why we get paid well. So Michael Jordan goes and plays basketball and society says, that's your value, you get paid well. So there's that. When we combine those two, so economically, where does society deem us valuable based on the values that we have? And then the second thing is, where do we perceive our value is? Where do we feel fulfilled in the tasks and the work that we do? Now, what I say to people is, your life demonstrates your values, whether you know them or not. So a stay-at-home mum says, well, I don't know what my values are. Well, what do you spend most of your time doing? Looking after kids. Your highest value is probably family. A business owner, and I get this all the time, especially women do it more than men. Don't criticize me and kill me for this, but this is just the way that it is. Most women tend to subordinate or suppress their values, especially if they're business owners. And they'll say, family is my highest value, yet they spend 80 hours a week working.
Because they have to.
They don't have to. Their life demonstrates their value. Though. Yeah. But your life demonstrates your values, right? So
I have to, because my man left me, or I left my man. He was a dirtball. So now I'm on my own. I got to do it on my own.
Yes.
Which is legit.
It could be.
It is.
Yeah. But they don't have to work. There are plenty of people out there who choose not to work even when they have kids. So if money,
choose not to?
100%.
Yeah, like my wife.
Maybe, but I mean, she's married to you, right? But her highest values would be family.
They are.
And your highest value would be business or entrepreneurship or career or wealth.
Well, maybe, I don't know.
I can guarantee.
I got to go find my freaking values. I
I
value family, and I value family over business. How do I know? Well, because if you said, Brad, you have to lose one, which would it be? It wouldn't be my family.
That's because what happens is, if you look at Maslow's hierarchy, down the bottom you have the survival needs. Normally when I'm talking values, people always go to survival responses. So like, if it was a life or death situation, then I'd pick my kids. Yeah, but we're not talking about life or death situations. We're talking about, how do you best create a life that you enjoy living, that you love to live, that you get paid well for. So what we're looking at is self-actualization. We're moving up the hierarchy. We're not moving down. So most people, they go to like worst case scenario. Yeah, but if my kids were dying, then yeah, but they're not. So let's move up the hierarchy, which is, what do you love to do?
Well, in that regard, where you're not necessarily forcing me to say my business is more important, because it is not. But in reality, it's important. Sure it is.
If I said to you, would you rather spend, for the next 6 years, would you rather spend the next 6 years working 60 hours a week or spending 60 hours a week with family?
Family.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Then why don't you do that now?
Well, because I'm still working.
Why?
Because I don't want to spend 60 weeks or 6 weeks with them and then need to go back to work. I want to be able to spend 6 weeks with them and then not have to work.
Because money and wealth creation is a high value.
Right now it is.
Yeah.
Because dude,
But you just gave it away, right?
Because I'm
It's
aware.
high value.
Yeah, but people have to be aware to these big dreams of spending all the time with your family, right? That are legit. I have them too. They have to be earned.
That's to you. There are plenty of people though who aren't like that.
I know, but like, in other words, I value family so much, I'm sacrificing some of it to build the money so I can go enjoy it full time. Now, some people might say, what if you die tomorrow? And it's totally legit question. I say the same thing to people. So don't prioritize the business so much that you alienate the family, but I don't do that.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to find purpose, because when you said, people can't find their purpose, I always remember people DMing me, how do I find my purpose? I was just wondering what you believed in that.
So if you get really clear on your values first, that's the key step. Then once you get them clear, your life starts demonstrating it. And then you go, okay, well, when I live those values, what's the purpose? Like, why am I doing it? The real question about purpose is why. Why do we do it? So me personally, I do this because I love helping people perform better. I don't really give a shit about helping people who've hit rock bottom and who are stuck and suffering in life and who want to suffer. I want to work with people who I call driven mofos, which are my community. People who want more out of life.
Yeah.
Now, some people hit rock bottom and they want more out of life. Some people like yourself are extremely driven and you still want more out of life. They're my community. They're my people.
Yeah.
Now, there are patterns of behavior that are different that normally aren't taught in different fields of psychology or personal development. A lot of it is based around pain and suffering and being unmotivated and the struggles and everything like that. I choose not to work on that stuff. I would rather just go, right, this is what we want to achieve. These are the standards that we're setting. How do we get there? How do we keep working on that? And just like the gym, if we keep going and we keep developing ourselves, we get there. Most people though, like most driven people, they have sabotage patterns or destructive behaviors that force and drive their motivation or gives them their drive. Like a lot of people work really, really hard, get ahead financially, sabotage it, then they get their drive back again. And if you ask them what's more important, having the money or having the drive, they'll say the money. They'd rather the outcome. But the truth is they actually love the drive. You and I love the work. We don't love the outcome, because the outcome we get and then we go, I'll take a couple of days off. Fuck it. Let's get back to work. And then we get back to work. We actually like the drive and the ambition and the work ethic and all that stuff that comes with our goals. That's why we just keep setting them higher.
Yeah. I mean, you learn eventually that growth comes through being uncomfortable. So, like a guy comes up to you, says, hey, I want to figure out how to get a new car. Oh, okay. What kind of car do you have? He says, I got the Audi. What kind of car do you want? I want the new Audi. Well, dude, like, to me, you already figured out how to get an Audi. Okay. Now you need to figure out how to get a Lambo or something else above that, but it's uncomfortable.
Hell yeah.
So people just, I'll just get the new one. That's better than the one I got. That is my next level. No, dude, you already figured out how to get an Audi. Okay. You've been driving one for years. Okay. Let's figure out how to get a Mercedes. I have to do that. That's just me. Do you think that's inherent? You think that's just born in people, or can they learn it?
I think it's learned. But in saying that, a lot of our society gets confused about the purpose of goals. The purpose of the goal isn't the attainment of the goal. It's the skills and the characteristics that you develop trying to attain the goal. You become a better person. So if we focus on becoming a better person, even when we achieve the goals, they're still irrelevant. We just set another goal and we just become an even better person. It's the purpose of life.
Or that's the goal anyway.
It is a goal, right? Like, I believe that the purpose of life is to grow, because everything in nature that I've been able to find and study either grows or dies. So our purpose is to grow. And I believe that whether you believe in God, Mother Nature, the universe, whatever you want to call it, there is some inherent drive or ambition in all living organisms to want to grow, to want to be better. So we set goals because it forces us to be better. And if we don't set the goals and we don't have ambitions or things that we aim for, the only other motivator that we have is pain. And so people who are lazy, they use pain as a motivator. And then they get out of pain and they take their foot off the gas, they cruise again, and then the pain kicks in again. They end up in something called a vicious cycle.
That's me.
Yeah? Wait, I know someone who can help.
Well, I mean, dude, that's a lot of us do that.
Yeah.
Maybe not in all area of our lives, but definitely some.
Yeah.
Like money, I'm constantly up leveling, but when it comes to fitness, I'll get in shape. Like right now I'm getting in shape. Pretty soon I'll get in a little bit better shape, which would be pretty good shape. Then I'll be like, dude, I look pretty good. And then I'll be like, okay, I can have that donut now. Why? Because look at me, dude. I look good.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, people are like, dude, what happened? And I go, what do you mean what happened? well, dude, you were getting in shape. Now you're kind of swollen again. And I'll be like, fuck, they're right. God dang it. Why did I give up?
In fitness and in health, your driver is pain. We just got to change it to inspiration. You're better than that. You know you're better than that.
I'm worth more than that.
I know. And that's why Andy told me to tell you he's got your 50 grand ready for you.
Good. Yeah. That's the trick in the brain I do for myself. Mm-hmm. Like when I'm on a treadmill and I want to get off after 10 minutes, I say to myself, dude, am I not worth 20 more minutes on this thing? Mm. I create a value to doing it. Mm. The value is, am I not worth this? My only answer is, well, of course I am. Well, then fucking do it. Mm. You're worth it. Not is it worth it? Am I worth it?
Yeah.
See the difference in mindset shift?
100%.
And it works, dude.
Well, can I ask you a question? Why do you do what you do? Because I think this will help.
Make money.
Why?
So I can be cool and live the way I want to live.
You're really cool and live the way you want to live.
Realistically, so I can, buy other people's shit.
Why is that important to you though?
It just makes me feel good.
Okay. That's also part of the problem, is that you do things to feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you do things to feel good, there's something in psychology called the pleasure pain model. And it's the pain leads to pleasure.
You're talking about shit that you can't change.
Yeah, you can.
You cannot.
I'll bet you
do the same shit right now for yourself. You do shit to feel good.
I do. But the problem with that is that if you look at Sigmund Freud's work, he speaks about impulses and fears. And all living organisms move away from things that challenge it or challenge life, and they move towards things that they perceive enhance life. That's called the pleasure pain model.
Yeah.
But it's essentially a pendulum that swings back and forward. Everything that's pleasureful leads back to pain, and anything that's painful causes us to crave pleasure. That's why when we overwork, we just want holidays. If you find a midpoint, you find flow. And when you're in flow, you don't need pleasure or pain because you do what you love. And that's what we've just got to find through exercise.
So I should just quit working and go enjoy traveling.
Is that what you love?
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah, but you also love making money.
Well, if I have enough to travel, who cares? I don't need no money.
Yeah, you do. Because you want more.
Well, I mean, right now, mentally, I know I do, which is why I continue. But dude, another 2 or 3 years, maybe 5, I can't spend it all. Like I'm good. And that's when I'm going to say, hey, au revoir, my good friends, au revoir. And then I'm just going to travel and love life.
You love life now.
I do, but I'll love it even more.
I guarantee you won't.
I will.
I've worked with people that have exited companies for extreme large amounts of money, and they're like, I'm going to go on a holiday. They do it for like maybe 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how
then they don't know what to do, bro.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah, I don't. That ain't gonna be my problem. Shit, you give me $1 billion, I know just how to spend it.
Yeah,
and I'll never get tired of doing what I'm doing.
I guarantee you want to make more money.
Never.
You don't think?
No,
not
me. Why? If you got all the money, imagine if you had a magic wallet where every time you open that wallet, there'd be $10,000 stuffed in it. And if you remove the 10 grand, instantly 10 more grand appears, and it never ends. And you never need another dollar. Why would you ever want to work?
I would.
Shit. Again, you go help people and build things and you call that work. I'd call that fucking doing what you love. That ain't work.
Same thing though, right?
Okay, so me traveling around the fucking globe with my family and friends and eating kick-ass restaurants and freaking seeing kick-ass sites and living in kick-ass environments, 5-star hotels. Like, dude,
that's what I'm doing right now, right?
Who gets tired of that?
Hey, I can tell you right now who's tired of it. We've been on the road for 4 weeks. We just flew from Vegas to Arizona, did the podcast with Andy and that, flew back here. We got a flight to Dallas tomorrow, and then we're back to Vegas the following day. I can tell you who's tired of it.
You're tired of traveling.
Yes.
You're not tired of living luxuriously.
The problem is when you're doing so much travel, you don't get to live luxuriously. Like, I would love just a nice warm shower and just to chill out in bed for like.
Where are you guys staying? Motel 6?
Oh no.
Like, go down to the Encore, get the presidential suite, and you're not going to want to check out for fucking years.
We're staying at a pretty good place. Where are we staying? Fontainebleau.
Oh yeah, Fontainebleau. That's a brand new one.
Yeah.
Are you in a big ass suite?
Yeah.
And you can't take a hot shower?
I can. We
You
got
don't
in.
enjoy the room?
We got in from Arizona. I threw my shit in the room, had a quick shower, got back out, packed my shit again, and now we're here. And now we got to fly to Dallas. That's the problem, is that the schedule's tight.
Okay, so this is my point. So you're not really living luxuriously. You're traveling.
We're traveling.
And traveling for work and business where you have to leave is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about go to Monaco, check into a 5-star hotel, have unlimited money to play in the casinos, let your wife go shop, hang out at the beach, rent a yacht, fucking eat, enjoy, check out the sights, show your kids the most magnificent sights in the world, you know. Enroll them in frickin' cooking classes, you know, like paint at night on the beach near your villa. Like, you know, hey, you want to leave? Nah, well, I don't want to go to Andy's.
I get bored.
Someone call Andy and tell him we ain't coming. Why? Because we're enjoying our lives right here. And then guess what? You're right. 3 weeks later, you may want to go somewhere else. Why? You've done it. Now let's go to Spain and do the same thing. And then after that, let's go to the Eiffel Tower and check it out. I hear it's beautiful at Christmas. Yeah, dog. That kind of living. And that's not traveling, even though you're traveling. That's living.
I get bored. I would
I
rather
do
work.
not. That means you don't know what the fuck to do.
I love this stuff.
You listen, if you fund it, I'll come live luxuriously with you and I'll show you how to do it where you won't get bored.
Yeah?
Hell no.
Done.
How would you get bored?
I just get bored. I like this stuff.
Because you don't know what to do. You only get bored if you don't know what to do.
I love doing this. This is my thing.
Like
This is
right
what
now
bored
I'm not bored. I like podcasts.
Yeah.
You know, but if I didn't have a podcast to do, guess what? You know, I like fishing too. Maybe I'll go fishing.
Don't you get bored?
After a while, I probably get bored, but not really a fishing.
Okay.
You know, but I mean, you know, you fish all day and you're catching them all day. Yeah, there's nothing boring about that. I'd do that all day, every day.
No kidding.
But sometimes, you know, you got shit to do, which are called obligations. And those obligations are what cause you to have to check out. What I'm saying is when I have enough money, I'll do what I want, when I want, with whom I want, for as long as I want. And I have zero concern over where the money's coming from. I have so much properly invested that money's coming no matter what I do, where I go, who I'm with, and for how long I do it for. That to me is enough money. And people say, what's enough? That's enough. Why are you still working if you got so much? Because I don't have that much. I don't have that much. But dude, give me another 3 to 5. And I'll have that much. And you'll be like, dude, where you at? I'll be like, fucking Monaco. You want to swing through? Where are you going to be? Christmas. I think we're going to be in Ibiza. We're still debating. Aren't you bored of traveling? Hell no. Not as long as my family's with me and my friends are with me and my relationships, because that's what matters when it boils down to it.
What would your friends be talking about
And
if it wasn't business?
I wouldn't have one iota of a smidge of worry about how these bills are getting paid, how that yacht's getting paid, how those rooms are getting paid. Like, it wouldn't bother me because it's just, I could do 10 times what I'm doing and not eat up the amount of money that's pouring in from my investments. Dude, you tell me you'd get bored of that? No way. Would you? Hell no.
I honestly think that when you're around your friends, you'd be talking about business, wealth creation, the next deal, all of that sort of stuff. You'd just be doing it with the people that you like doing it with.
Well, again, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you that I, for one, would easily stop working if I didn't need any more money. So when people say, well, why do you work then? Me? Money. Well, why money? Relationships, enjoyment, fun, security. You know, that's just the truth. So if someone says, well, you need a bigger why than money. I don't. Fuck, seems to be working. I just need money so I can freaking, you know, afford options.
I would say, based on just having watched you for a long, long time and you know, spending time with you the other day, I would say that your top 3 values are money and wealth, family, and connections, high-level connections that you learn from, or people that you bounce ideas off of, or things like that. I would say they're your top 3 values, and 99% of your life is based around those 3 values.
You'd be accurate.
Yeah. And so if you just prioritize your life around those 3 values, you're crushing it anyway.
Well, I do Pretty much.
Yeah. And so it's not that you're trying to chase money to get to an outcome. It's just you like making money.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. I reckon even if you made enough money, you'd have bigger ventures and bigger ideas and different types of connections. And you'd be like, yeah, fuck it, let's make more money.
Yeah, but that'd be a byproduct.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're correct. I wouldn't ever stop working based on what normal people think working, because I would be accused of working till I died.
Yeah.
But to me, it's not working.
That's it, though. That's because you're living your values. That's exactly how you should live. That's what I try and teach people.
There you go.
You're on fire. You got it.
Proof. I'm a co-signer. I'm the evidence that it works.
Now, when it comes to your why, though, if I ask you why those three things important, so why is family, close connections that you learn from and grow off of and things like that and making money, why are those three things important to you together as a whole?
All I could say off the top of my head is because that's what matters.
Yep. So what's your purpose in life? Quick answer the question. What's the first thing that pops up in your head?
To help people.
There you go. So your purpose in life is to help people, and you do it through those values, through making money, through high-level connections and leadership and your social connections, and then family.
It's funny because that is how I make money.
I know. So you're actually living your purpose and you're living your values. You just don't realize it, because what society does is it creates these, Freud called it implanted values. So most people come to me like the mum who works hard says, yeah, but I have to work for my family. There are plenty of mums who don't work for their family, right? They wake up in the morning, they smoke a bong, they bum around the house, they have nothing, but that's their standards. That's how they live, because they don't have a value on money or wealth creation. Someone with a value on wealth creation like yourself, you're like, I could never do that to my family. But they go, I could never be like you and work so much and not be with my family. Who's right and who's wrong? Both right. It's just what you prioritize.
True, but I would argue that they're wrong.
From your standpoint.
From my perspective. Why? Yeah. Because, dude, you're not providing for your family the way you want to and the way you could, and in my opinion, the way you should. So if you're not rich, you fucking have an obligation. I'm talking about a man. You have an obligation. You need to go to work so you can give your best self to your family.
Yeah.
Now, again, while I'm gone, how am I giving my best self? Sometimes, motherfucker, that is your best self. 100%. Get out of their face and go fucking build something that they can thrive with.
Hell yeah.
That's your obligation. Now, you can also go too far, I agree, where, dude, I spent 29 years and my kids grew up without me. Don't make that mistake. I did that kind of with my first 2 sets of children. Now I'm on my 3rd set.
How old are they?
2 up to 11.
Okay, so 11's the eldest?
2, 9, and 11.
Awesome.
Yeah, but again, I'm much better with those 3 than I was the first 2. And I'm much better than on the first 2 with my second 2. So my first set of kids, I did terribly. Was gone. Didn't contribute hardly shit. What you would call a fucking absentee or / piece of shit father, I would say.
Okay.
And then the second set, I was there, but I had opposition, their mother. So that was a little difficult, but I was a lot better. But I also sacrificed a little too much time in their case too. Like I could have spent more time with them than I did, using the business and I'm building something as an excuse, when in reality, a lot of the time I wasted, quote unquote, building something was fucking off. It wasn't building anything. It was more destroying things than building them. And it was a waste of time. I could have invested that time better into my boys. But I didn't. Oh, well, I forgive myself. Next. So now this set, I'm a lot better, but I'm still in the mode where they don't need me 24/7. Okay. A lot of these parents are running around thinking their kids need them so much. Your kids don't need you as much as you think you do. They do. You know, yes, they need you, but how about when you get home and spend time with them, put your phone down and actually spend time with them, ask them questions, like teach them something, you know, guide them, counsel them, question them, lead them. And the best way to lead is how? By example. Okay. Because I don't think they're listening to you. I think they're watching you and they're emulating you. So you can talk to your kids all day long. They don't listen. Okay. They're watching
That's why I say all leadership is
Like,
self-leadership.
hey, you should be this, but yet I'm a lazy fuck that doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, you need to go out there and kill it. Well, Dad, how come you're not out there killing it? So at the end of the day, I think you should lead by example, which would require some sacrifice of time with those children. But again, you see most guys, they're out there, you know, with their buddies at the bar talking about building a business. Yeah, you could rationalize why that's networking and building a business, but you're also saying, you know, you could have spent that time at home with your kids. So just make sure that they're equally important is all I'm saying.
Yeah. I think by the sounds of things, you've actually done a really good job, like as in, from what I've witnessed, you've actually got a really good life balance, and you're actually mastering your top values. And if your purpose is to help people, you probably need to remind yourself of that more, because sometimes, especially as a business owner, and this is where a lot of business owners, you know, start falling apart, is that they forget that, and money becomes their driver, not the idea of helping.
Yeah.
And that's super common.
Have you heard of Jesse Itzler?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jesse's one of my favorite speakers.
Yeah.
He's got this thing called a big ass calendar.
Yeah.
So what he does with his family, of course, he's billionaire status, so they can do this. Like regular families, probably not as fun as Jesse gets to do, or someone like myself. But he showed me how you prioritize life first. Most people prioritize business and then try to fit life in between their business. What he does is he teaches people, hey, how do you prioritize life and fit business within that life? So all he does is has this big ass calendar, and he sits down with his family. What do we want to do this year? We want to go here. We want to go there. We want to do this. Okay. He writes it down. Okay. Everything else is business. And now you can fill in the blanks. Dude, that's pretty clever shit.
That's very cool.
And so every time I get an opportunity, someone says, hey, you want to do this? Even though I could say, no, I got to work, because I do. I'm ignoring so much shit in my life that I could be crushing it even more. But guess what? I could die tomorrow. So when my wife says, hey, can we go to the beach this weekend? Yep, we can. Why? Because I can go to the beach and do work. I can go to the beach and keep kicking ass. I can get her what she wants and get what I want. It's not a limited thing. It's not one or the other. Honey, we can't make you happy because I need to work. I say, yeah, we can make you happy. And I'll do some work. Let's go. Yeah. And we go to the beach. That's why if you follow me on social media, you always see me here, there, everywhere. People are like, dude, what do you even do? Do you work?
That is work though.
Again, not to me, that's living.
Yeah. I think that's the thing though, like from what I'm hearing you say, and I could be wrong with this, but you've been convinced by, like most people in our society, that work should be a sacrifice, that work should be something that, you know, we have this work and then work's hard and it's tough. And then we go through that and then we have family time. Whereas you've actually done a really smart job, which most people don't do. That's what I spend most of my time talking to business owners about. Life should be integrated.
So if I hired you to coach me and you found out that I'm already there, would you give me my money back?
Oh, there's heaps of shit that you need to work on. Believe me. I work with billionaires who are in the rich list, and they come to me. They're crushing it in some areas, but there's always growth. There's always growth somewhere. There's always something that they're fucking up. There's imbalances that they have because, as you know, new levels, new devils. Well, you want me to get into it on a podcast?
Yeah.
New levels, new devils. It's always the same, right? It doesn't matter where you're at, right? We've all got, I don't like using the word self-sabotage patterns because I don't believe that humans self-sabotage. But
see, again, if we had longer, I would argue that, dude, I know a lot of people. I just call it. It may not be what they're doing. Maybe you were about to explain what they actually do, but I know people, including myself in the past, who self-sabotage.
Give me an example and let me break it down.
Huh?
I'll break it down for you. Give me the example and I'll break it down.
Okay, like people that you know, they find a deal and the deal starts working and then somehow, some way that fucking deal crashes because they did something stupid, got drunk, got a DUI, punched her in her face, whatever stupid fucking move they made. Ruined what they had going for themselves. And it doesn't happen once. It happens every single time they get something rolling, something good happening.
Do you have an actual example?
They make some stupid ass mistake and they go right back to shitville.
If you give me the actual example, because
dude, you guys watching this episode, put in the comments. He'll be watching the comments. Put in the comments how many times that's happened to people you know, and maybe even you. Put it in the comments. Everybody's done that. The question is, do you keep doing it? Because you've never done that.
Yeah, of course, but I don't call.
For example, I'm getting in shape. I'm going to get this $50,000. Guess what? I look pretty good. I'm going to start eating hot dogs.
Yeah,
I don't hit my goal. That's self-sabotage. I did that myself.
But you have benefits of doing that.
Okay, you find a really good relationship, a woman who loves you and she's like freaking mad about you, and then you cheat like a fucking piece of shit. Well, what happened?
So
You're trying to sabotage that relationship is what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's self-sabotage because you did it. So that's self-sabotage. There's another example. Or I got a great job, I'm starting to make money, and I freaking go out and drink with my buddies and wake up hungover and go to work and miss a big meeting and find out I'm fired.
Yeah.
That's self-sabotage.
So what I talk about in that is that so I'll give you a few different examples. If you study the field of biology, if you get a petri dish and you put a bacterium in the dish and you put a toxin, the bacteria move away from the toxin. Anything in life that is a disadvantage to life, people move away from.
Just a disadvantage of survival.
You could say that, yeah. But what will happen is that people have something called hidden motives or hidden agendas. So I'll give you an example, right? So in the gym, people set out with these gym goals, but what their motivator, their core motivator is pain. So as they start to get fit and healthy, they lose the pain. As they lose the pain, they lose the motivation and drive.
Yep.
So people would call that self-sabotage, where they sabotage and go back to where they started. But what they're actually looking for is they prioritize the drive in their own life more than the achievement itself. So they're actually using pain as a motivator to motivate themselves.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a bad strategy.
But so isn't that self-sabotage?
Not really. It's just a hidden motive. They have benefits.
What should they do instead? Once they start feeling good and losing their pain, how do they create more pain?
No, you don't create more pain. What you need to do is you need to shift. So in Maslow's hierarchy, you shift to self-actualization. Why do you go to the gym? Because it's fucking important to me. Because I'm better than that. I'm worth it. And so you shift from like, I'm a fat piece of shit to I am worth it. That's why I train. That's it. It's that simple. Why do you make money? Because why the fuck not? Why don't you have enough money? Well, it depends who you ask.
Not me.
I know if you ask poor people and broke people though, they'll say you've got enough money. Why do you need another Ferrari? Why do you need a bigger house?
Well, I might not, but I want to guarantee it. In other words, I might be to a point where, yeah, I could live, but I know I couldn't live the way I want to live. Like, dude, if I spent the kind of money that I want to spend, I'd be out of money in less than a year.
Yeah, you got high standards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I need that to be true, but the answer is I'd be out of money in 30 years, 40 years. Why? Well, because that's as long as I'm living. Well, what about your kids? They'll fucking figure it out, and I'll leave them a little something, something. Like, in other words, I'm not leaving them, like, I'll leave them everything I got left.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to save it for them. I ain't saving it for the kids. Like, they'll get a whole bunch, trust me, just through my accumulation of assets. And when I die, it's like, dude, I got watches, I got cars, I got property, I got cash,
and a lot of belly fat.
I got insurance, I got all kinds of shit. They'll get enough. But I'm not fucking saving it for them. I'm not going to be like, well, I'm going to save it for my kids. No, dude, they'll be fine no matter what happens. If I die broke, they'll be fine. Why? Because I taught them to get their own. That they're all getting their own right now. I don't give anybody anything. Well, I give them jobs and cars and more advantage than I got because, when I was a kid, I wished my dad could have provided. Everyone like talks shit about silver spoon kids and rich kids. I wish I was a rich kid. Now, again, if I had a crystal ball and if I would have been, I wouldn't be self-sufficient and I wouldn't be me and I'd be miserable. And, then I wouldn't, but I don't know what I don't know. I'm just assuming if my dad would have bought me a car, I would have had an easier time building what I've built. If my dad would have, gave me money to start companies, I bet you I could have started companies a long time before I had my own to do it. So it's like, I think he could have helped me get there faster. And people that are born that way, I don't see anything wrong with them. I'm not mad at them. I'm like almost envious. Like, damn, dog, I wish I had a dad that gave me $1 million. Look at Trump. They're like, your daddy gave you everything. His dad gave him $1 million. He turned it into billions. Okay. Don't go. I'll give you $1 million. Let's see you turn it into $1 billion. Like, dude, it ain't as easy as you think.
Hell yeah.
He did get $1 million though. Yeah. And I'm not mad at him. I wish my dad would have. But anyway,
I've worked with a few people that have inherited large sums of money, and it creates, as I mentioned before, new levels, new devils.
Well, dude, you clearly know your shit, and I can see why you're a big impact in the Australia. I want to help you get to be an impact here in the United States. So you're looking to work with people to do this where? Worldwide? You don't care where they're from?
Yeah. So my whole thing is a lot of what I do is leadership, right? So these days I'm working with sales teams, marketing teams. I'm coming to businesses, working with the owners and the founders and things like that. But my whole belief and my whole strategy is, so all leadership is self-leadership. If you can't lead yourself, you can't lead others. I worked with a sales guy a couple of weeks ago, and he said, my fucking team are undisciplined. And he was really pissed off and frustrated. He's like, I'm sick of them. And I said, where are you undisciplined? And this is what most people do, right? He goes, well, I'm disciplined. I am disciplined. And I said, no, you're not. And he said, of course I'm disciplined. Like, I'm always at work early. And he labeled everything that he does at work where he's disciplined. The dude was overweight. You don't think that his team don't know that he's undisciplined? So all leadership is self-leadership. So people will watch what you do. They don't listen to what you say. And you mentioned this earlier, right?
That's right.
A lot of what I do is working with people to become more self-disciplined, to create that self-leadership so that they can lead others, whether it's a parent, kids are watching what you do, whether it's, people who are running companies or even founders who are starting new companies, people are watching what you do. You want to bring that inspiration. You want to know why you do what you do. You want to have that enthusiasm and that energy because it rubs off on everybody else around you. Yeah. And that's essentially what I'm teaching. So yeah, we have been global for a couple of years. Like, we do have clients overseas and so on, but it's just time now to start pushing it a little bit more and really opening up.
Well, folks, you guys heard it at Michael Mojo _success. He's on TikTok, YouTube, Michael Mojo 00. You can also find him at michaelmojo.com. And he's got a podcast, The Underestimated Entrepreneur.
Hell yeah.
Go follow this cat. Tell him the Bomb Squad sent you. Thanks for coming.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
And as always, folks, until next time, keep it real.